Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. I have in my possession information from an insider at Amazon and what they are about to share. And I'm going to break this into two videos because there's so much here will shock you. I'm not joking. This isn't clickbait.
Hey, what's up? I'm going to be reacting to this Economic Ninja video, this absolute bombshell that he dropped about inside information he got from Amazon. Now, I sell on Amazon. I do e-commerce. I've been doing it for over a decade. I do real estate investing. What he says here, I've listened to a little bit of it. We're going to listen to the whole thing together. But I heard a few things and I thought, wow, I got to make a reaction video about this to watch this with people so that I can kind of give my thoughts on what he's saying, as well as I live in Seattle. I am very familiar with Amazon and I know lots of people that work at Amazon. And I have a lot of things to add to this. So without any further ado, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's get back at
it. Because what I want you to understand is that the insiders of the largest organizations, the largest businesses on earth, care more about the real estate situation, the banking collapse, than you do. All right. And the reason why is they know that these systemic shocks to the system that just happened are going to carry further into the economy, affect you in a way that will affect their business. We are seeing right now Walmart shutting down across the country because they are claiming excessive theft. They are exclaiming that they are not making any profits.
So let me get up on that. Portland down here, a lot of Walmarts, all the Walmarts in the Portland area are getting out, and they said it's because of excess theft, and they're just tired of it. I know there's more to it than that because we've been seeing retail have issues, right? We don't have money getting printed all over the place by the Fed anymore, right? People do not have as much money as they had in 2020, 21, and even 22. Their savings are dwindling. We're seeing this over and over. And so retail has been declining, but online, we've been wondering about. Let's get back to this. I just wanted to add to that. What he's saying here about Walmart is very, very interesting. In other words, the reference that he's making, he's going to get into it here, is that Walmart is just losing money anyways. I'm not going to interrupt this anymore. Let's get back to it. It's so good.
Because of the theft, but other reasons as well. The consumer is tapped out. Costco earnings are showing that people have moved from just buying stuff that they want to buying things that they need. Right. And this
big difference.
Literally, these notes are going to shock you about what the upper echelon in Amazon are talking about right now, things that are going to drastically affect their business. And I also want to remind you what Jeff Bezos said approximately 4 or 5 months ago, that he sees a day where Amazon won't exist. And people were shocked. But it blows me away how many people do not remember the Kmarts, the JCPenney's. Those are still around. Sears, Fedco. Name stores that you remember that were massive conglomerates, monopolies, if you will, that are now gone, that are gone completely through past recessions or downturns in the economy. All right. You are about to experience a wave of really, really bad things coming in the economy. And if you are not
be sure to wait for this because he's going to get into what the insider told him at a very special insider meeting at Amazon. These aren't like employees. These are insiders. These are shareholders, things like that. So be sure he's getting to it.
Prepared for that financially, not only will you be sucked in and be affected and have to possibly claim bankruptcy or possibly worse, I mean, lose everything you've got, but you will miss the opportunity of the greatest financial revolution ever in history, the greatest wealth transfer ever. And I implore you to be prepared.
Look for the opportunities.
It is no fun making wealth if you're doing it by yourself. I want to take you with me. Now, we're going to share these notes, but I want to say first, I'm going to put a link to another video that I did on my other channel, a real estate channel, about the largest fund that is using pension money to steal your house during this correction. They know the market is tanking.
Be sure to put that video on.
They are literally halting, not allowing pension funds to withdraw money from its residential real estate funds because they're imploding right now.
Can you imagine that? Pension fund, your retirement money. I don't know what to say. Like, I think there's some sneaky stuff lying around the corner, just waiting to crush the economy, to crush a lot of things. People today on the 13th of April, we had the CPI yesterday, we had PPI today, and everyone's getting all bullish. And I'm just like, there are monsters lying underneath the surface. And when he gets further into this video, he's going to talk about probably the biggest one. So let's get back to it.
Now, but also, and they sent you a sign because they only allowed $666 million in redemptions. That should have given you a sign right there. But they are literally starting another fund to capitalize, and it's essentially called a Downturn Fund. They're going to capitalize and take your homes from you and rent them back. This is not a joke. I'm going to put a link. It's on another channel, a real estate channel called The Real Estate Ninja, and you need to watch it. These are very serious signs. I want you ready for this. Now, let's do this. I'm going to break this up into 2 videos. All right. So these are insights and notes taken from an insider at a large Amazon event or meeting, but it's from insiders. All right. This is not a general meeting for employees. Okay. This is high level thinking. People need to understand how serious this is. So here we go. This was very recent. They're talking about at an Amazon meeting. They don't sell these products. They're talking about REITs, which stand for real estate investment trusts. Right now, they said this is what the big guys at Amazon are following and seeing how it's going to affect their sales. REITs are 12.8% of Wall Street assets currently. That of Wall Street assets, 12.8% of them are comprised of real estate investment trusts. REIT commercial units are not occupied. The amount of those that are not occupied are between 58 and 64% of commercial REITs. I've been talking about this commercial mortgage implosion that will dwarf what just happened in crypto that affected the regional banks. Please understand how serious this is.
Listen, I realized my mic was muted before. What I was saying was real estate investment trust. That is absolutely, what is Amazon, an e-commerce business, AWS, all that, having this monster meeting at this very uncertain time in the economy, global economy, and they're talking about real estate investment trust? Huh. Isn't that interesting? Let's get back to it.
These are non-occupied buildings, and they have become a major liability and will be dumped. The duration of time to repurpose into alternative living and or life work will take 2 to 3 years to renovate with access to bank capital.
He's reading.
So let me repeat that again. The duration of time to repurpose
the actual report.
These commercial units. I've been talking about that as well. They're going to start taking these massive Walmarts, these massive buildings, and they're going to start to convert them into living spaces, but almost imagine it like a cell, because, you know, tiny homes are taking off. I've got to drive you to this tiny home community near my house. It makes me sick how expensive real estate's gotten, and how here.
Today, I was just looking at the local newspaper here in Seattle, and here's what I saw. This is very relevant, very important. There's this big complex that cost over about $250 million to build, that they started building in 2019. They just got done with it. The builder already gave the keys back to the bank on a beautiful location on the water. It was supposed to be a big, big thing, right? It was a big investment, a big thing. That community was very excited about it over in the South Seattle area here. And they handed the keys back to the bank. And now that building, that brand new, beautiful, very hyped up, great location on the water, $250,000 building is going up for auction. It was an office building mostly, right? So something to pay attention to say the least. This isn't the only place that's happening, and that certainly won't be the last.
You could have a shoebox and it's going to cost you $400,000. Like in New York, where tiny apartments, right? They're going to repurpose this, and they're even estimating, Amazon is paying attention to this because they're looking at how much it's going to cost the consumer, and that's money that's not going to their products. Yep. It's going to take between 2 to 3 years to renovate with access to bank capital. It says right here, now these are notes from this meeting, okay? And I thank all of my insiders that are sharing with me information that you will not see on the news. That is why it's so vital to hit the thumbs up and to share these videos, please. Regional banks. Again, this is Amazon.
Feel free to hit the subscribe and notification on this button too, because I find that these videos are great to watch, right? These videos, like from people, but watching them with someone that also pays attention to this stuff, watching them with someone else that also has an insight on this stuff is very valuable. And that's the value I hope to add here. I'm going to be doing more and more of these type of videos on different content videos, giving a reaction, giving my thoughts, watching the video with you. Okay, so hit that subscribe, hit that notification, because a lot of these are timely, right? And YouTube, I don't know what kind of suppression is going on. So if you hit that notification, you'll actually get at least notified of the video, right? So let's get back to it.
Caring about regional banks are attached to the hip of local in big words, commercial properties that are not performing. Same issue above, except these properties are not as easy to convert into alternative use projects. Very few leases in this segment were signed in 2023. So they're already seeing that commercial is just imploding. All right, it's totally imploding. And if you remember, there have been news stories that I've covered where Amazon had these plans to build these.
By the way, commercial is broken up into several segments, like multifamily, apartment buildings. That's commercial, not what's being talked about here. There's malls, there's office space. Those are kind of the main three categories. What he's mainly talking about here and what everyone is mainly talking about is office. That makes a lot of sense, right? Work from home, people not going, remote working, people not going back to the office. Dramatic effect. And it's hard. The effect, right? If there's only like a 10 or 20% effect, a 10% effect on these office buildings because their cap rate, right, their error for margin, the vacancy rate that they can handle before they just go bankrupt, make no money, lose money, have to give the keys back, foreclosure, all that stuff is very small, and they are way past. Like 10% is the best most buildings can handle in terms of vacancy rate. Most buildings are more closer to 50%, and they're never going to get back to 10% vacancy rate. You understand this now? That's why Amazon's talking about this. There's a multi-trillion
massive distribution centers
going
on in 2022, 2023, and 2024, and they have been canceled, literally decimating some communities because they were planning on the revenue and they were overspent. There are communities, put it down in the comments if you're one of them.
Also, these small and regional banks are going to die, many of them, because these commercial spaces, they are overwhelmingly, majority of them funded by local and regional banks.
The cities or townships that have been affected by this, that have planned for Amazon fulfillment center to come in, it's completely done because the economy is turning and it is going to be a big shock. Here's more. Local and regional depositors are pulling and migrating funds into other larger quote unquote banks. The issue is that when the local consumers are mattressing cash, buying metals, think about that, guys. They're referring to gold and silver. Amazon is talking about gold and silver sales. And hoarding dollars, they are signaling a lack of trust and faith in the system. You can't buy trust. It's earned, and once it's gone, it takes years and new opportunities to regain the confidence of the marketplace. Think about that.
Yeah, think about it.
Amazon is very concerned that the consumer has lost faith in the financial system of the US dollar. That means they are starting to mattress cash and hoard cash. Those are the words that are being shared at an insider meeting
at Amazon.
Okay. This is why it is so very vital that you get all of this data, these different data points together to make the best decision on what is going on in the market, in the world's economy, because it is going to drastically affect you. I don't care if you think your job is safe. It is not.
Everyone's got to be paying attention to this.
Credit pullbacks. This is the next thing they're talking about. Larger entities like Amazon.
Before he gets into that, I want to be very clear with you. The 2008 financial crisis was caused by mortgages, right? Residential mortgage issues, right? that had a default rate, about 2% of the mortgages on the books of these banks is what ended up failing. 2%. 2%. That's what caused this calamity, because that's how tightly leveraged all of these banks were. Guess what? They're not really any different today. And now, in an even larger total amount of money, right? Because they have more money lent out for all of these commercial projects than they did for residential mortgages. So these are called CMBS, commercial mortgages. These local and regional banks, they are going to be crumbled most likely. And if you don't think this affects you, believe me, it does. It affects it's another potential financial crisis. That's why they're talking about this at Amazon. We're talking about a 10% issue going on. 2% in 2008, 10% issue going on right now, mostly at local and regional banks with these commercial mortgages. Whew, it is no joke.
Amex or American Express and national banks are risk adverse and are calling in their credit lines. The more they pull back, the harder it will be for small to mid-sized businesses to access and gain approval for funds to start, grow, and scale their businesses.
Can have a big effect.
Again, why would this matter to Amazon? Well, because I own multiple businesses. As a matter of fact, I've been shedding businesses. My family closed 2 businesses, 2 entities this year to prepare for this downturn. When you start a business, what's one of the businesses that you use for a lot of your supplies and needs? Amazon.
Totally.
And that's why Amazon cares about this. I've been explaining before the last 4 or 5 months how the access to capital for new businesses, a new startup.
Do you know how much money Amazon makes from supplying businesses? From supplying office buildings? This is crushing small businesses. This is crushing local and regional banks. This is crushing office space, commercial buildings. We are talking about a very big effect going on here, and it hasn't even really started. But everyone's all bullish. Everyone's all bullish because inflation's at 5% now. That was a big drop, but core inflation still ticked up 0.1%. With that being said, I don't think inflation is the big thing we need to worry about. I think that is just gasoline on this much bigger nuke that is waiting to go off, right? It's a force, like inflation is like a little fire in the backyard compared to this nuke that's ready to go off in this commercial lending sector in this financial crisis. That's why Amazon's talking about this. That's why Economic Ninja's talking about it. I'm going to let him get back to it, but this is why you watch these videos, for a reaction, for someone that also knows about this, so I can comment on it and we can watch it together, right? Let's get back to it.
In this country is going to diminish to almost nothing in 2023 because venture capital firms are failing left and right. I don't want to go too much for the next video. Let's talk this one. Consumer slowdown online. And this is very important. This is the bread and butter of their business, right? Consumer slowdown online. February 9th signaled to the Amazon USA marketplace that the consumer audience has lost its appetite for all things sold online.
That's interesting.
I don't know what even happened on February 9th. Again, this is information coming from an insider. The wants versus needs marketplace has become a need-based purchase anvironment. Amazon is down 32% year to date. Another 27,000 techs another 27,000 techs are scheduled to be laid off end of April.
27,000.
Think about this. Now, I'm going to wait for the rest to talk about it in another video. It's going to go into China. It's going to go into supply chain problems that they're seeing right now. And what else are we going to be talking about in the next video?
So that's pretty much it for this video, for this one. Wait for that part 2 when it comes out. I'll do a reaction video for that too. But let's just sum all this up real quick. Be sure to hit the like, sub, and notification, mostly the sub and notification. What's interesting here is he's talking about Amazon's meeting about the impending financial crisis in the commercial lending industry that will affect a big part of their retail business, Amazon's retail business, by supplying local businesses, because local businesses can't get more money from these local banks, because that's what small and local businesses, they mostly bank with small and local banks because there's always been a better, easier relationship and more symbiotic. But now these small banks, these local and regional banks, are having money just drawn out every single day. They are losing depositors every single day ever since Silicon Valley Bank and Signature and what the hell is the other one? Silvergate. Ever since that, mostly Silicon Valley, right? That is what really set this off. So couple that with that, these small and local banks are dealing with absolute disgusting, toxic assets, which would be commercial mortgages. Oh my God. There is the fabric of what we do, the fabric of how our economy runs is sick, and it's getting sicker is what's going on here. And it seems like there's a very potential for a nuke to just go off. And hardly anyone's talking about this. Amazon is in their secret insider meeting. So I hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to hit the sub and the notification bell. I'll be doing more of these. I hopefully you like watching these videos together with someone that cares about it like you do. And hopefully I can add some insights as we go through, because I own multiple businesses. I'm an investor. I do online business, all this stuff. So usually I have some kind of insights to throw in here. Hopefully you enjoy watching it with me. You're welcome to come back. Obviously, hit the sub and the notification. See you real soon, and take care.